This campsite is absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous, but it is super, super remote. It's a good spot to be in, but I am worried every time I set the dog out. I have to like watch him the whole time and watch the area. I'm just like paranoid that there's gonna be a bear. And this morning I'm doing eggs and toast. You know, I had pizza last night, eggs and toast today. You think I live in a house? But no, I live in a van. Don't be fooled by the extra square footage I have by turning that seat around. Sorry to everyone who's ridden with me before, you know, who's rode in this van, but I just want you all to notice that without you here, there's so much more room. I'm not changing that back for a while. It's amazing. It's so much nicer that way. Champ, you've already had your breakfast? No mooching. No effect on you, right? Anyway, I like to start my morning by watching some YouTubers. Right now I'm on a huge sailing binge. I've watched a lot of the series from beginning to end, a lot of these big YouTubers on the seas. Right now, I'm just catching up, just finishing up with SV Delos. I like the way those guys travel, man. Got a bit of that dirtbag vibe. I feel that. This is awesome.
Air left.
Well, I made it like 100 feet down the road, and the goddamn ball joint popped right out again. The whole wheel's just... I don't know what to do. Just drive down the road and like destroy the ball joint and the arm, because I'm probably gonna have to buy new ones anyway, and it looks like it won't stay in no matter what I do. It took me like 2.5 hours yesterday to fix it, and it took me less than 15 seconds to break it again today. A freaking engine, a fucking computer, the fucking electronics. Alright, so this is a really irritating issue, but I'm going to pull it together, you know, keep my best attitude, no sass, and we'll get this done. But I've called a few shops. I finally found one that can actually get it here in a few hours, so I'm going to head to that shop. I've already ordered the part, and I'm just going to pull the control arm and the ball joint and everything out of the van right now. And then at 1 o'clock, hopefully the new part will arrive. Hopefully it comes with the ball joint already stamped into the control arm. I really hope that's the case. And then, yeah, if that is the case, it should just slide right in. It's just 3 bolts. And I'll have already lubricated and everything else up, so it should go in easily. It's the coming out part that I'm worried about. I'm worried about those bolts on the control arm, whether they'll be seized or not. But positive attitude, brew another cup of coffee, and we'll get this done. Alright, so there are many tiers to this multi-tier little system of ours. First of all, this is the problem. This ball joint, this control arm, they're not making friends. And the reason for that is, if I will use sexual analogy for a second, you have a peg and a round hole, and usually it sits like this, but the peg's got a big old ball at the end of it, and when you hit a speed bump, that peg jumps out and then jams over here, and you know, the one end of the shaft is quite thin, but the other end is quite round, and when the thin part is in the round hole, bangs around a bunch, starts to damage things. And I mean, it's damaged to the point where it will ever be 100% again, but it was safe enough for me to drive over, because that round hole, she's pretty sturdy, you know, don't underestimate her. But yeah, it's time for both of them to just take off and for me to replace the whole lot of it. So I got these 2 bolts back here, and I'm going to try and pop those off. And hopefully they'll just come right out. Alright, a little bit of a progress report. First of all, I cracked a little bit WD-40 on those two top bolts that I was worried about, and I got them out of there about a couple hours later after I went to a coffee shop and uploaded and edited some episodes, so you know, time not wasted. So yeah, this is the component we're having an issue with. So this where the two bolts were, and they were sunk up there on the frame, and then over here on this side, this is the universal joint. Now I'm just gonna pop that out. So this is the joint that I just put in. It's actually in really good shape despite me banging on a hammer on the top of it. It's got these ridges here. Now they're kind of like a screw shape, but they're very, yeah, you know, they're not very grippy, kind of soft. So what they're supposed to do is sink into this bit over here, which I have so thoroughly destroyed, mostly from driving on the way here. But basically, this rubber grommet's not supposed to be in here. This rubber grommet's supposed to hold the grease on the bottom, so it's destroyed. Now, this is where it's supposed to sink in, but as you can see, it popped out of the hole and then banged up against this side, and now this side of it right over here is just, it's just mangled, you know? And so it wasn't going to make a tight seal no matter how deep I got it in there. So instead, I've bought a whole new set of all of that, and we'll just bolt it on there and hopefully be on our way in the next couple hours. I'm just waiting for the part to show up, and that's it. It's a lot easier when the part all comes complete and all I have to do is bolt it on. Yeah, probably should have done that in the first place, but they didn't have the armature at the last couple places I went to. I tried asking, and it was going to take like several days to order it in. This place, I just so happened to break down again near a spot that could get it to me in like 5 hours, so that's a lot more my time frame. Yeah, and once I get all that done, she'll be right as rain. Should probably replace the sway bar links too when I get the chance. They're starting to crust up a little bit, but they still look good. At least they're not rattling yet. There's no shake, and the bushings up there are still good. And my lower ball joint is in great shape. I just did that when I first bought the van. Did the lower ball joints on both sides. Actually, the upper ball joint on the other side's perfect, and the ball joint on this one's perfect. It's just the fitting, and I don't know why it popped out of the fitting. It's probably, well, I know it's those roads I'm rolling down, but I don't know why it popped out of this fitting and not the other one. And otherwise, it's not worn at all. You know, none of the other parts are worn out. All right, new part is in. There she is. Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, it's like a protector. Whoa, fancy. But look at that. So there is control arm, bump stop, ball joint, and all I gotta do, I don't know, do I have to do anything to this? Yeah, I have to. Wait, no, it's good. Yeah, and I just have to drop that in there and this in here, and then tighten these guys up, and should be good to go. It's easy, right? Just get her on in there. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, all right, well, looks like I've got everything back in here. Now, usually you need a tool because these bits back here are slotted. You need a tool to kind of like adjust for camber and get it set just right. What I just did was... Really? So I'm stuck in a small town where everyone thinks that their truck needs to be bigger than the next guy's truck. So this guy's driving like a Ford F-150 and it has a reversing beeper. Because guys, it's so big, you don't understand, it's so big. My van's bigger. Anyway, so these guys usually need to be set with like a camber adjuster and all that sort of thing. Luckily, I have had the control arm on there before, since factory, so there's actually a bit of paint and some denting. Paint missing and some denting to show where the old one was, so I just lined it up and put it exactly where the old one was. And should be good to go. All right, time to get the wheel back on, test drive this baby, and get back on the road. Because I've got some friends to see. I don't like to keep them waiting. There she sits, nice and stable. Do a little test run, and I feel like $1 million. It only took like, I don't know, an hour and a half to get it off, maybe an hour to get it on. Getting good at this. So yeah, welcome to Portland. I made it in one piece and the van is holding up really, really well. I'm hanging out with my friend Corbin.
Oh, hey guys.
Champ is hanging out with another dog over there. Champ, come here. You're supposed to follow me. What was the deal? Come here. Alright, so if you remember about 8 months ago, these two clowns showed up in Ontario in their own camper van. Their life has taken some interesting turns since then. They now have a kid and a house and all of that, and I mean, I don't know, man. It's changed. Things have changed a lot, but we're catching up, and it's like you said, like it feels like since then we've lived like 2 or 3 lifetimes.
It's like 5 lifetimes. It's crazy.
It's been nuts. It's been nuts. So I'm going to be spending most of my night here catching up with these guys, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Good night.